we turn our attention to step 4. And step 4, we take our servo saver that we made earlier. We got to take this, I think this is the end plate at the front, like a bumper plate. So this is the SC209B, which is an aluminium plate. We take the last remaining screw. You can't miss this one. This one is this is the M4 by 40mm button head. Again, button heads like this. A couple of the M4 nuts, and this component here, which is your SC244B part A. So again, it's the only one that's left in the bag A. This is here, and we're going to pop this button head screw through the front. So take this hole here, so you've got all these here, you've got the countersunk, so that's going to be underneath, so you pop that through like that. Take one of your M4 nuts and wind that all the way on, and we're going to need to tighten that because it says step 1 is to tighten this. So we pop that down there. So let's take our the larger of the Allen keys, pop that into place, and our spanner which you get. So pop that in there, hold that there with that, and then use your spanner, and you're gonna just pop that in and give that a tighten. That's going nowhere. Right, so nice and tight. Now get this to the right orientation, this bit facing forward. Take your servo assembly, your servo saver, again with the ball facing forward like that. Okay, so that's going to swing on there. Take your M4 nut, wind that on, and then take your SC244B part A and screw that onto. And now what it's going to get you to do is it's going to get you to use the Allen key as a wrench, if you like, and you're going to pop that through just to hold. And the idea here is, I believe you need to get this horizontal, but you need to get this to a point where this moves, so you use your wrench and back the locking and use this as a locking nut, and you're technically locking this off, and you're making sure that this moves free. So it doesn't, at the moment, that doesn't move free. So I'm probably going to need to go wind that nut back a little bit, right, so it moves free. But I need to make sure that in it moving free still, that it is horizontal. So I'm going to pop that like that, and I'm going to use this to lock. I'm going to hold that on the bench and lock this horizontal, and then hopefully like that. Should be horizontal, which looks good, and that should be locked, but that should move freely. And it talks about a 1/2 mil gap between the nut and the top of the collar. Just happens my ruler is about 1/2 mil, so if I'm, yeah, you know, I'm just a bit shy of that 1/2 mil, but enough that that's still moving freely. So you know, I'm happy with that. So that is step 4 completed and adjusted. We turn our attention to the main chassis on step 5. I've opened bag B, so a new bag of components, empty that into my tray here, and of course I've gathered my components that I need. Gathered this large piece, you can't miss it, SC210, and it's again drawing your attention to making sure that this is face down. This is the SC212B, And again, you just got to make sure that you get the orientation, and again this is facing down. I then draw my attention to this bar that we got here, which is this guy here, and this is getting you to make sure this is the right orientation. So if you look here carefully, you've got these 3 marks, and they're getting you to line up these 3 marks. And then here, I don't know if the camera's going to focus, perhaps it will, it won't, I don't know. Let's have a look. No, I don't think it will, but you'll see there's some 3 marks just about here. So that needs to be on this side, and you've got a single mark on this side, and that needs to be here, and you need to line them up with these SC206Bs, which are these lovely machined clamps, beautifully done. And we need obviously the chassis we built from earlier, and our steering system that we built earlier, and we need some hardware as well. So going at the front are the 4 M3 by 15mm countersunks. So these are the countersunk ones. And if you've got any doubts, just get your ruler out and measure them. So the countersunk is 15mm, which you can see on there. And the back here to do these 2 plates is a couple of the M3 by 12mm. So that's this one here. Okay, so just get your ruler and check them. So it's a case of putting all these together, and it looks no. I noticed again no thread lock. So let's try do this front section first of all, because it looks like it's the more complex. So we get this. If I move these to the side, move these to the side, so I can organise, bring you a bit more into focus where I am, hopefully. Okay, so this is going to go this way round, so we get the three marks, lining up 3 marks on this side, which is your, as you're facing the drawing, it's going to be your left hand side if you like. So that's going to face onto there, and we're going to collect these 2 holes here with the clamps, and we've got to screw up through the bottom. So this is going to go through the bottom here as well. So we've got to get this in place as well. So I'm going to pop a screw through here, and then collect that first one there, and then I'm going to pop another screw through as well. Okay, and then I'm just going to try it this way. I'm going to put my clamp on, but I'm not going to do it all the way up. I'm just going to get a couple of threads going by finger. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do. So there we are. I think we've done 1. I think we've done 2. Right, now that that's in place with those, let's pop this in place. And it's strange how this is lined up. So it goes like that, I believe. Then you've got to get this lined up so it's on the top by the looks of things. Something along those lines like that. If you can pick that out with the light. And then we've got to do the same again. So what I'm going to do is just get the it'd be the smaller of the Allen keys, and just nip that up a little bit so it holds it. Like that. So I'm just nipping those up so it holds it a little bit. Just so I can relax a little bit my hand. There we go, so it's held it, and then we've got to do some lining up. So let's pop on the other clamp so it lines up. And then I'm just trying to get this so it lines up straight, because that's got to be that way around, you see. It's quite a tight fit actually. quite something. It's quite a tight fit. So it's kind of there. Let me just move the plate into place. Grab some threads, hopefully. And then see if I can thread that through. And I'm just going to check the lining up marks. They look like it's lining up. And I need to check to see how much you wind this down because it's quite tight. I think I might need to move it over just a little bit. I'll do that off camera and I'll come back to you. So I've got that relined up. That's quite a little bit tricky. So basically you have to spend a little bit of time just getting this top one lined up here and the line, and then now that they're aligned, I think you've got to clamp these down, probably torque them down gently as you go along and try to do them evenly, I would say, so that you don't thread out your threads. So yeah, just torquing those down now, and then you screw these nice and tight, and I think it clamps this down in the right place. That's the idea. So it looks like it stops, but you know, they are lined up, and yeah, let's torque these down bit by bit. And try and torque them down so the clamp is square. And we'll finish off the last part of step 5. It's putting these other plates in place, so the SC210, which is this guy here, and making sure that these face downwards, and again on the SC212B, make sure these face downwards, and our 3mm by 12mm countersink screws. So quite a simple step here. This goes on the bottom, and we pop up through this countersunk area here, and this basically comes up through this one here, and it collects this hole here. And I'm just going to pop that around, get a couple of threads on like that. Loose for a moment while we sort this out. So the other side. So again, line things up, pop the countersink one through, collect the hole on the other side, and again a couple of threads, tighten that up there. There we go, nice and tight, nice and there. So on that step we had to spend a little bit of time on here lining up these marks so that the center marks. So we spend a little bit of time getting that correct so that that bar is lined up and facing the right way, and placing these rear bars, and everything's nice and rigid now. So that is step 5 completed.